Alright, there we go. Yeah, everything looks alright to me. So... Cool, okay. Time for a little Touhou project. I went CC'd this game the other day actually, which was pretty fun. I've been waiting to get a little more practice in though, because while getting more consistent, it was still a little bit of a miracle that I got that far, you know. You know how it is. 17's gotta be one of my more liked games in the series for sure. I just feel like it has a lot to offer. It's still challenging and it has a bit of a difficulty spike as Touhou games tend to do, but it's like, it's doable, it's fun. It's a fair amount of hard. I feel like it really ties together the collection mechanic UFO wanted to have. Because I honestly don't like UFO that much. I feel like the resources are just a little bit too tight. I could see an argument that this game gives you too many resources, but I don't think that's something people tend to complain about. So... yeah, you know. No, when it comes to Touhou, I suppose people always have criticisms about things that other people enjoy, but I feel like that just kind of tends to extend to all video games in general. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's going to have different opinions on things. Like, frankly, it can be kind of fun to just kind of see everybody's different ideas on something. Like, you know, you'll go through something and have just like a totally set stone in your mind impression of it, and then you'll go talk to somebody and they just feel completely differently, just completely conversely, and you're just like, huh, you know, that's fast. I never thought about it that way. And I do find that really enjoyable with Touhou in particular, because I feel like that happens a lot, where everybody will have a lot of different ideas. I might play some Marissa after this run. I don't think I've played her at all in this game, though I don't tend to play her much at all in general. Not because I don't like her, I just pretty much always default to Reimu. Because, I mean, really, why not default to Reimu? She's... I guess she's kind of built to be the default option in the games, and there's a bit of joy to be had from that, I think. I've always appreciated the aesthetics of this game a lot. Though, I feel that way about most Touhou games, I guess, but I feel like it does a really good setting the job with the music in particular. It's a very memorable soundtrack, even for a Touhou game. Oh, that wasn't very good, but it happens. Love spell cards with the rain vibe like this. I always think it's really fun. Obviously all spell cards are made with like kind of an aesthetic idea in mind, but I always love when the rice bullets are used to kind of give an impression of rain. It's very pretty. Honestly, viewpoint that obviously I appreciated the integrity and like the artistry of the spell cards in general, but it's like I remember seeing someone who was playing through and he was talking about how he loves playing bullet hells specifically for the patterns. Like he didn't really enjoy the genre itself, but he'd play through them just because he really appreciated the aesthetic looks of like all of the bullet patterns and whatnot that you'd find specifically in like the bullet hell genre. And that was just such an interesting perspective. I thought that was fascinating because it's like, well, I do appreciate the bullet hell patterns, like that's never the main focus for me. The main focus is objective surviving, of course, so it's just like, oh wow. Like, it's nice that there's just a guy out there who likes them that much, I guess, if that makes sense. But you have that for everything. There's always a guy who just really loves something, no matter how niche or specific, and that's nice. I'm glad that everything has that guy, you know. Chimkin. Kutaka's cool. I love her theme a lot. It's so good. Yeah, I bet. First bot, baby. Kinda hype. That was pretty nonsense death, though I feel like every death this run has been pretty nonsense, so that's fine. Just warming up, just woke up and everything, so just part of the process. Man. Sorry. That was crazy. Anyway, you know. Opening the game with a warm-up. Gotta start fresh, gotta start it cool. So just gotta warm up with the bad gameplay, so when I do good it's actually surprising instead of vice versa, you know, if you really open up with the godlike skillful gameplay whenever you have a bad gamer moment, it'll be a lot more surprising. Gotta keep them expectations low and all that. Holy hell. Yeah, it's true. Cats can do a lot nowadays, if you believe it, actually. As long as a lot is just being able to play any Touhou game, that's like being able to do at least 19 things, so I think that quantifies as a lot. How have you been doing? Fighting for your life? I mean, yeah, that's how it goes sometimes, I think. As long as you're able to persevere, that's what matters in the end. Wishing you the best of luck, though, in fighting for your life. It's like, fighting for your life really is so intense until it's over, and then it's just like, you don't even think about the fighting for it part anymore. You can just carry on, which can be nice, I guess, you know? Only gotta deal with it in the moment. Mukau! Yeah, Rumi's great, honestly. Like, I will admit, like, I didn't think a lot of her until, you know, Shiki really clung on to her, but I still like her. Like, you can't go wrong with a Mukau. Kind of one of the animals ever, if you think about it. But it's like, I didn't really have appreciation beyond that. But it's like, well, it's a moo cow that fishes, so that's actually pretty badass if you think about it. But I guess that was kind of my impression on a lot of these characters when I first played through, is it's just like, oh, animal smiley, like moo cow, chimpkin, baby that stacks stones. Yachi. I think she's like a tortoise dragon. Saki's cool. She's like a Pegasus. But there's just like, there's the excitement in seeing a cool anime girl. And that was about it. But I definitely have a lot more appreciation for this cast. I think they're a freaking great... I don't know why I didn't say fuck. I think they're a wonderful addition just to Touhou in general. I really do like the new era of Touhou. Well, you know, I'd say this is like third arc with how everything's been tied up. It really makes me sad that more people don't seem to be as fond of it as they are of like past generations, but I feel like that's just because like old Touhou just has such a grip on like internet culture that, you know, of course people are going to be a lot more attached because they've been around for a lot longer. I hope that they get like more appreciation and love as time goes on and they become vintage, I guess, for lack of a better word. You know, you just gotta put them in the cellar and let them age like a wine before everybody's ready for them. Like, I earnestly do believe that in a few years, like, all of the mean things people say about new Touhou, they're just gonna be saying about the newer Touhou, and everyone's gonna be talking about how peak and good this game is, actually, you know, as if they'd never been talking about how much it sucks before. Though, I haven't seen a lot of hate for this game. I feel like the hate really comes in at, like, 18. But I also wasn't around, really, when this game came out. Yeah, I don't think the... Imagine... I don't even want to imagine how 4chan would have talked about her. That would have been scary. Kind of fascinating to think about. Like, I think they would have loved her, I just don't think they would have liked the gay part. They'd be, like, very mad about that. But in that regard, I don't know if the new internet's even ready. Did you see how people were flipping out on Twitter about that? That was something. Very novel, I suppose. But it would have been a lot worse. I still, like, feel like she would have been popular regardless, though, just because of her design. Which, for good reason. I honestly think, Hisumi is a great design. For, you know, like, totally normal reasons, just from a character design standpoint, of course. I adjust my tie. I'm also just so delighted that we got a grape Touhou, like, that's awesome. Yeah, Lord forbid. You know, everybody's okay with making Touhous horny until they're just actually horny, I guess. That was a crazy one. It's like they just made what everybody portrays Sakuya to be, like, into a normal and funny dynamic, and they could not handle it, I guess. But yeah, that sounds about right, I guess. That's just how people are. Like, okay, now that I've made that comparison, I feel like I just had, like, a stroke of brilliance, because I really, like, I feel like what Hisumi and Zanmu have going on is just what everybody memes Sakuya and Romelia to have going on. But they don't appreciate it when we get it in, like, a normal, cool context, I guess. Which, I mean, normal is a bit of an overstatement, I guess. I feel like some people who like Sakuya and Romelia, like, just like it with them being, like, adult women. But you know what I'm talking about. It is kind of an evil comparison, yeah. I love talking about characters, because you can make the most fucked up comparisons, because characters always boil down to tropes some way or another. There's so much wonder in the world. That was a pretty nonsense death, I'm gonna own up to that one. Frankly, every death so far has been a pretty nonsense death, but that's okay. Yeah, I like Hisumi. I like Zanmu too. Zanmu is really cool. I feel like she's a really fun addition to the cast. People who think she's, like, secretly, like, nice and awesome and kind are a little strange to me, but you have that with any Touhou. I feel everybody wants the Touhous to be a lot nicer than they are unless they're actually nice, and then they want them to actually secretly be about to eat the other Touhous like a rotisserie chicken, torn asunder, killing them bloodily with lots of blood and gore. And it's something. It's kind of funny, but it's just weird. It's like you could have both of these worlds. You're just trying to achieve them with the wrong cast, my beloved fellow Touhou fans. But that's just how it goes. That's always how it goes. Yeah, oh my god, you would love Foul Detective Satori then, because like the main antagonist, like the ghost girl, like her title is the Jailbreak King, which is pretty badass actually. I feel kind of bad for her because I do think she's like a fun character, but nobody likes her. Well, there's a couple people who really like her. There's like that one guy who like draws so much fan art of her all the time, and it's very badass. I'm very happy for her. But I feel like a lot of people don't like her because they don't like Foul Detective Satori, because like I do feel like this story could have been presented a bit better. But yeah, she's GNC as fuck, bro. So badass. She's like, it's me, the Jailbreak King, and Reimu's like, you've brought the Jailbreak King to class 5 times. Can you stop, like, doing whatever the hell you're doing? And she's like, nope. Anyway, I'm off to go possess someone else. I'll be back. And Reimu's like, yep, I bet. I bet you'll be back. Such a beautiful world. Though I honestly very much simplified that. Reimu is actually pretty scared. Right? I could only dream of having a boss that butch. Well, you know, I guess I don't have to dream because, you know, being your own boss and all that, right? I either always do these non-spells perfectly and with ease, or I struggle for my life and help. Yeah, well, Sanai does. Well, I mean, let's see. Touhou's with butch bosses. I wouldn't count Iron as butch. Though I don't think she's particularly femme either. I checked my watch. Not you, Yuko. There are so many Touhous with bosses. Why am I pulling a blink? Let's see. I mean, there's Saki. She's like a Beast Realm gang leader. She's pretty butch. Kakuma. Yeah, so real. So true. Thank God for Patchouli, my favorite butch. Careful, you're gonna get me giving out Google Docs of context. Thankfully, it's just us here, but that could be scary. Darling, you gotta be careful with that. Like, yeah, actually, I do think Patchouli knowledge is butch. Please allow me to give you 15 pages of invented context. Nobody's ready for that. I think it was bitten. I think that's right. I'm like almost certain it was bitten, yeah. Bitten? One of the two. I really do need to see how you pronounce that right. I feel like I bounce across it every time. Yeah, cause what's her name? The T-girl, T-boy swag lizard girly. Like, she was working for Yuma. No, Bitten was working for Yachi. I don't know if Saki had anyone working for her. Cause Yachi was like, yes, I'm going to gaslight this monkey into thinking she's Goku. It might have been a Noko, actually. That might be right. I know, like, Saki has a thing with dogs. Like, you know, she has, like, all her dogs that attack you. So, probably a Noko. I do need to go through, 19 again. That could be a fun stream. Actually. Why not? Why not a little Touhou Project 19, but, like, tomorrow? Probably. Much as I love 17, I don't think I want to play it multiple days in a row again, because I've already been playing it like all week. Going through like all this 19 story modes would probably make up a stream or two. I think that'd be a good idea, actually. Because it's like, I played through it day one, but I was more excited about playing the game than like really comprehending the story. I still do find Seiren going to hell and crying the funniest thing in the world, though. I'm still so grateful Seiren was in there at all. Like, I saw a lot of people upset that, like, Seiren really didn't get much characterization, but it's like, we got enough. You know, I'm happy with what we got. Like, frankly, I'm just happy we got her at all. Like, people were being a little bit too, like, of a downer about it, I think. Like, you should never expect a character to get, like, a Bible worth of lore when they're featured in a game again. Because that's just not how Zune rolls, I feel. Now, if she were in a print work, things might be different. So, overall, like, Touhou 19 was so good. I really appreciate the care that was put into, like, all the, overarching plots and, like, crossing story. Like, handling that much plot with that many perspectives sounds like it'd be rather difficult. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, frankly, I feel like the new characters got just the same amount of characterization, and they're brand new and have never been seen before. I guess we just didn't learn quite as much new information because we've already seen her before. But I feel like that's how it usually is. Like, you get the most information from their first appearance, and that's about it. You know, you get a little bit more tidbits here and there, but... That was horrible gameplay for a minute there. You're welcome. But it's like, if you're expecting lore, go read the print works. Why are you playing the games? There's so much rich lore and world building in the print works. Like, I think the games are still important to play and give regardance to. Like, I've seen some people that are like, why even play the games? They don't even matter. And it's like, well, I just don't think that's true. But I definitely don't think they should be your main source of lore if you're a really lore-focused kind of guy, because you're just gonna miss out on everything. But it just depends on how you're appreciating the series and all. This theme is so good. I do apologize if the music is a little quiet. I had a hard time balancing it. used to always be like, man, why do streamers always have the audio like muted? Like, just balance the audio, idiot. And then I went to go balance the audio this morning and I immediately was like, I'm so sorry. I understand now, I see the light. This shit's hard as fuck. I wouldn't bother either if I were you. Because it's like the only thing I'd really balanced audio for in the past stream-wise was just like songs in the background of drawing, and like that's easy as hell. Oh, the freaking balancing like multiple people talking is the worst thing in the world. That shit's evil. But thankfully I don't have to worry about that. That's none of my business. Well, Shiki did like ask about doing a Soku collab eventually, but like that's still just 2 people. That's pretty doable in comparison. Kiki, yeah. We're so back. Soku though, that's gonna be huge. I haven't played Soku in a hot minute. I need to just pick it up again in general. It's a fun game. The sound effects used in this boss fight specifically makes me think of Sonic every time. And just like the way the stages are presented, and I don't know if that's just me. That's right. Thank you, thank you. I like the new characters a lot, I just am so bad at learning new names. And so it's probably going to be another month or 2, but any day now, I will be able to name them with ease. Though I still struggle naming characters I like sometimes. Like who's the one with Flight of Bamboo Cutter theming? Even though I like love Kaguya and she is my best friend, it's just part of the process, I guess. Or like I'll forget how to spell Utsuo's name still. But that part of that's just cause like, you know, Oku easy shorthand, why even bother spelling the whole thing? you're so right, actually. Like, is there another way to spell it? Like, that'd be crazy. Like, actually, she's never been called Utsuo before. That's a fan-made nickname. Really weird chant to spell it any other way besides okay, Yuya. Yeah, baby! Not even close to a 1cc. That was a pretty good run. Alright. Give me, just a little second. I'll be right back. Oh, right. Adjust my tie. Probably gonna do 1 or 2 more runs. Not doing anything crazy today, just wanted to actually get started. Yeah, we could do a couple Marissa runs. I don't think I've played Marissa at all, actually. Trying to think of like any game where I went, yeah, I want to play as Marissa, and I love Marissa. It's not even that. Imperishable Night. I feel like I usually play as Marissa and Alice, actually. That's kind of it. Just can't beat that homing attack or the persuasion needle. I like that she's just shooting missiles, actually. I really appreciate the artistry in that. I'm really curious who we were going to do a stone stacking contest is. Who's participating? This is the... everybody's complaining about Zoo not telling us enough. Well, I think this is the worst case of it. Who the hell is she stacking stones with? I would do anything for this vital information. Marissa's bomb is insane. Jesus. She's like, nice spell card, but one small issue. Master Spark, beam attack, death, goodbye. Like, oh yeah, well, okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, answers. Children are participating in the stone stacking contest, and Marissa is coming to you later. Thank goodness. Yeah. What are the fan artists getting on that? And by fan artists, I mean me. I'm getting on that. Marissa. Marissa is so cool. Big Marissa fan. She's always been the funniest person in the room. So true, bestie! Oh, she has like a little kitty on her like apron in this game. That's so beautiful. Real Chen cameo moment. It's like in a femme-femme relationship, she's the more mask in a relationship, like when you put her with Alice. But like in a butch femme relationship, she's still the femme most of the time. And this doesn't mean anything, actually. I'm literally just saying words, but they still have a little ring of truth to it, nonetheless. What's the— isn't there like a butch scale? Like, wouldn't that just be fudge? Actually. Thank goodness. Arumi. Arumi is like if a moo was a cow. Yeah, like, that didn't have any meaning, but it was fun to say the words anyway, you know? There's so much beauty in just saying words. I feel like the real answer is, like, I feel like Marissa is kind of tomboyish. I'm not used to Marissa's speed and it keeps tripping me out. I feel like Marissa is a little bit, like, tomboyish in comparison to the rest of the cast, but I honestly don't really think she's butch. Being all serious. But it's like, Touhou tends to have very slim pickings, unlike butch characters in air quotes. You usually have to take some stretches, I feel. Except Kaneko, that one's just true, and everybody who disagrees with me is not seeing heaven. I'm just putting that out there. Like, it is insane to me, like, Kaneko just feels so blatantly butch in every way. And then I go to be like, whoa, I want to see what everybody else thinks about this. I want to see the consensus, and everybody's drawing her, like, as a femme bimbo. And I'm just like, where did we go wrong, you know? Like, I know this just happens to every Touhou character, but it feels extra wrong in this context. I feel like there's a grave mistranslation somewhere. But not as in like actual textual translation, I just think it did not, the image did not hit their eyes right. Her Mountain of Faith art doesn't really exude any energy either way. It's like that one book that the guest illustrator drew her in, where she is just the most butch thing on the planet, and God bless America, really. We really needed butch Kaneko in our lives. And there's like Moku. I feel like Moku's an objective. If you walk in and you call Moku butch, nobody is going to disagree with you. Unless they don't know what a butch is, maybe. Chimkin. But that's a whole different can of worms. They don't even know what it is. A sad world, really. When you defeat them really fast, you'll get like a special little thing. But I don't know what it does. Like, you know, you get the chicken from Chimkin, or you get the jellyfish from the girlie who stacks stones. But it's like, what benefit does this reap? A secret. Yeah. Yeah. Except the same people who took. Yeah, you walk up to those people and you're like, man, Moku's butch, and they're like, actually, she would wear a beautiful ballroom gown and dance with me boobily across the floor, so I just don't think you know what you're talking about. And it's like, oh, okay, buddy, let's get you back to bed. That's fine. Yeah, what I was trying to convey without saying it, yeah, like, actually, Moku made me a sandwich this morning and will make me a sandwich the next morning and for lunch. You know that one ninja tweet that's like, you know, my wife made me a sandwich pre-cut as I was playing the game while she was brawless. That's these bitches about Moku, I think. For better or for worse, which it's for worse, by the way. Spoiler alert, it's for worse. The little bit of solace I get, at least from what I've seen, is usually people who like Moku that aren't gay people. You know, it tends to be like people into tomboys, so it's like at least they're not butchering her in the trad wife way, I suppose. It's a secret third option. But I just try... Lately I've been trying to curate my fan work consumption a lot more. And I found myself getting a lot less mad and feeling a lot more at peace. Because it's like, man... I know people absolutely feel this way about how I talk about characters too, and that's fine, but it's like, I will see people and I'm just like, you are so wrong. All that so fake, Worsty. You are lying. Oh, hello. My cat was like, I went Worsty and she immediately woke up and hopped down to see me, so I guess that's her name now. My lovely Worsty. fascinating. But yeah, it's just... It's always this whole thing. I think Touhou, like, the fandom aspect has so much to offer. And I'm so grateful for that. That's definitely why Touhou has lived for so long with such prominence, is the meme aspect, the fandom aspect. But, yeah, it's like, you know Neopets, you know, like, pets and pets, you know? And so it's like, you know, I'm a cat, but the cat has a cat, and maybe the cat has a cat has a cat. You don't know her. You know, did you ask? But that's my little secret, you know, I can't just give away my whole hand. I'm sure you understand as a renowned gambler. Ran. Yeah, it's a bit of a Ran situation where it's like, you know, I got a guy, and I'm the guy's guy, and I get chucked at people, and I chuck my guy at people, for extra violence in Danmaku battles. We kind of get this in Imperishable Night, and I'm really grateful for that. I still desperately need more games where you can chuck your guy at people. I thought that was beautiful. Like, playing as Yukari and fucking throwing Ran in Imperishable Night is so funny. Why is there not more of that? Doesn't have to be a Shikigami or whatever, I just need the ability to throw an anime girl at someone else as an anime girl. Does she? I completely believe you. I just, like, I'm always so focused on everything else on the screen that I can't even, like, focus on if Rand's chucking Chen. I'm really glad about that, though. Thank God. See, more reason to play 19 tomorrow, actually. I'm really seeing it in the cards. So we can throw Chen. It's enriching for her, she loves it. I think you throw Chen at an opponent and Chen goes, yippee! Before slamming into them at like Mach 7. I love, like, when I can't tell if I have a spell card or not, so I have to, like, play out of my mind to see. And the answer was no, I didn't. Yeah, she's like, wee! She's having so much fun. Yeah. So real. Hell is hopelessly large, you know? I don't know, it seems pretty small. For this spell card in particular, I cannot, like, focus on the character, I just have to move with muscle memory, and as long as I do that, I'm fine. But if I, like, look at Marissa at all, I immediately trip up and get hit. Like there, like, you know, I'm like, you know, if I look, I'll be fine. It's never fine. I'm thinking about, like, you know in Mario 64, when you have, like, the slide and you slide down it, like, in the castle, like, bam, 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 and, like, he's racing the penguin? Like, imagine how much fun Chen would have if you, like, threw her and, like, rolled her down a slope. I think she would have the time of her life. Yeah, bullying her. I think she'd be full of so much wonder and joy. And she'd immediately, like, she'd land and she'd be really dizzy and she'd just be, like, splat on the ground for a minute and then she'd fly back up the slope and be like, do it again. And you'd be like, okay. It's like going down a slide, but for a more durable sort of beast. And when I bomb a millisecond too late, it's like, man, so close, but so far. Also, like, conversely, I also think being thrown is absolutely enriching for Rand, but it's like, she's an adult now, so she can't take as much joy in it, you know? She's gotta play it cool. It's like, as an adult, you still love going on the swing set. Obviously, everybody does, but it's like, you feel a little silly when you hop on the swings as, like, gestures. Adult. A however old year old. No, because I think she would enjoy that. I think she would have a lot of fun if Yukari did that. I think actually Yukari is like, you don't get to go into the endless portal and fall forever tonight because you were so awful today, Chen, and I think Chen starts crying. You know, snivels, like, falls to the ground and starts slamming her fists to the ground, full tantrum, because she wants to go into the eternal falling hole so bad. Really fucked up if Yukari withheld that for her, actually. I think that's like actually a little like treat reward. Like, man, you were so good today. Here's the eternal falling gap. And Chen's like, yippee! Yeah, I completely agree with that. She'd be so scared. It would not be a good time for Raisin. I think Raisin would rather like eat razor blade laced candy apples than go in there. But she's just very anti-fun, so it makes sense. Yeah, and it's Yukari. Yukari's scary. Honestly, I don't know if Yukari and Raisin ever interact, but I think Raisin would be terrified of Yukari. Because, well, I have common sense, I guess. I don't think that's much of an outlandish thing to say. I feel like that's being like, well, I think that it rains sometimes in the winter. But, regardless, I do think she'd be terrified of her. Ooh, you're right. But she doesn't really know who Yukari is yet, I feel. Because that's like their first time meeting, but I feel like, yeah, that would just kind of cement her being very scared of Yukari after getting her ass totally kicked. That's a good point. I feel like I phrased that badly. Like, I don't think we ever really see her impressions after, like, Touhou 8. Where it's just like, who the fuck is this guy? I'll stop you. And then she's like, man, you beat my ass. Holy shit. Yeah, and then she gets her clothes shot up. I mean, would that really make her scared? No, kidding. Low bar joke, actually, my bad. But yeah. god, that was so funny in an Abba of the Moon and an Abba of the Earth, where like Tai knows that Suwako's a god, but Raisin doesn't. Oh, of course. Can't not allow that beautiful message. Yeah. Like, who is this guy? This guy's small potatoes compared to me, Raisin, the coolest, most badass and powerful rabbit ever to exist, cause I'm from the moon. Oh god, I just got my ass beat so bad. I'm scared. I feel like that's like a lot of Raisin interactions, to be honest. She always thinks she's such hot stuff. She thinks she's a bucket of lava when she's an empty bucket. Ribbit. And Tai's like, wow. Raisin fell for the classic blunder of attacking a god. Like, I could have told her and she would have known and not attacked Suwako, but that's no fun. I like that by allowing you to say I'll kill you, it was like, Mitten64 used / add permitted term, I'll kill you. Yeah. So real. That's such a good analogy, because she does cure your status effects and everything. Like, literally just a bucket of milk over here. Pairs well with spaghetti, you know, got the whole shebang going on. Have fun! Take care. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. do one more run, I think. Mostly just wanted to make sure everything was working and in working order and all, so. Things got pretty smooth. I think I consider everything today a success. Had a good time, I think. I was honestly like so nervous like going in, but yeah, it's not so bad. Just streaming. I feel like things like this are always more daunting before you actually do them, and then you actually go in and you're like, oh yeah, that was fine. What was so scary about it to begin with? Just doing new things and all. And it's like, sure, I've streamed before, so it's not the scariest thing in the world, but it's like, that was a while ago. We'll probably actually advertise the fact that I'm streaming tomorrow. I was a little nervous today in case there was any technical difficulties, but it didn't seem like there were any. So, yeah, pretty good. Had someone stop by and everything, got the first bite. All in all, I'd consider it a smashing success of a stream. Yeah, we'll get one more attempt in. Man. It's okay. I always hate when I like am not thinking about the fact that I got like all the animal spirits, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bomb real quick and move in like I've used a normal bomb, but I actually used like just the little animal spirit bullet clear, which does not give you the same immunity frames in the slightest, and it's like, ooh. Oh, that's unfortunate. That one gets me more than it should. Like, not, I wouldn't call it an everyday occurrence, but it sure does happen, and it's always rather unfortunate when it does. Because it's kind of the only game you have to consider that happening in as well. Maybe? No, not really in UFO, so there's like the collection mechanic is totally different. It is what it is. That was so unfortunate. Oh my god. That happens. That happens. That was foolish. That was unwise. And I will fully own up to that, actually. It's okay. That was kind of messed up, but I should have seen that coming. I should have been prepared for that, in all honesty. Always really unfortunate when you're just in the wrong spot, when an enemy spawns in though, and you're just like, oh, hello there. It appears you have killed me. Like, skill issue on me for not knowing he was gonna be there. And that's okay. Because next time I'll be aware. Yachi's theme's really good. I honestly feel like I prefer this one to the 19 remix of it. But both really good, just good theme regardless. I just really like the instruments that are used in this game. It's very, oh, I don't know, I'm not a music expert, kind of a floaty, soft vibe, kind of ethereal to the whole OST really. All the instruments are kind of soft, but like still electronical. I like it a lot. It's like, whoa, music, so cool. There's so much music in the world. All right. It's me, the beast spirit, speaking to you inside your brain. Leave the girl, we don't need her. We'll have cowboy times in space. God. Massive blunder. That's okay. Alright, that was a good run. About 2 hours. So yeah, I don't know if anyone was really there for that, but thanks a lot. Really good streaming. Really good, like, test debut stream. Overall, I think it went well, and I'm looking forward to doing this more. I'll actually advertise it next time now that I know that it's going without a hitch. We'll be probably doing 19 tomorrow, because I think going through the story modes would be fun. I mentioned that earlier, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks, have a nice day and all that.